First, thanks for Kingston University to let me apply for school. And here is the answer of the 5 questions. Speak of the first questions. Is that I draw my inspiration from the director of further films, and my famous director is the Wang from the Hong Kong. And to illustrate it, I want to say a movie called The Feeling Angel. Yeah, there are 2 things that cannot be surprised by this movie. In this movie, the first one is a sense of from, which controls the transformation from the time and the space by meaning of montage. Hence, the films with any assertiveness. At the same time, he used a wide-angle lenses system throughout the whole movie, makes people feel alienated, which is very different from the other traditional movie. Use close lenses to keep it and to let the viewers get the actor's interworld. Yeah. And the second one is a judgment for lenses. Only his lenses are impressed like a poem. It's a very different from the other traditional, not even the Chinese or the overseas actor or director. For instance, let me think about it. In his movie, they said the road wasn't that long, and I knew I'd be getting off soon, but that moment I feel such warm. When it came back to talk about directors, Wang, An Li, and Yimou Zhang, also very famous, the 5th-generation director in the China, and he can't be said to be a constructionary combinations and didn't not use traditional humor or big senses, but by meaning of montage in his films. In his films and movies and pictures to create the sense of alienation. This is his unique point to make a dark shadow by slowing down the camera's shutter speed. And the traditional ways is extremely time-sensitive and unique, which makes people deeply impressed in his film and can't help but want to try out according to his movie. And as my portfolio, I try to use the same style according by Wang Kar-wai. Yeah. Let me answer the second question. As the early of the 2015, I started the first documentary is travel with my friend to Fuzhou and drive 800 kilometers to there, and it's a documentary about the airplane manufacturing. And in the process after that, I made microfilms, antique photography, cosmetic advertising, and car evolution. My work is to do the early photography and shoot out the class field materials. A whole idea in that my advance in my portfolio in according crisps of the empty mirror. I often makes a good performance in the photography environment and the architecture. However, my shortcomings lies in these close-up categories in the conversation of designs, which make expressed in the film is people grows up from young and likes to shopping down the street, and then play the street games with their close friend. With the year pass, someone dies, and only to be remembered with the other people still have their passion to sing and dance around the street. That feeling is a word called ventures not die, and they just fade away. However, no friends can understand what I mean in that portfolio in that film. After carefully consideration, the reason why I don't make myself clear is lack of close-up shoots and lack of use of lighting. And the likeness is the transition is not very good, which is the two parts I'd have to be learned, maybe in this university. Speak for the third questions, and as Chinese, I want to make a documentary. It will talk about the Chinese culture. As we all know, with the developing of China and developing of Chinese Confucius culture, Dao and Mao's culture going to be disappeared. Some children can even don't know there's more than 100 different cultures in 400 years ago. Yeah. When we talk about the music, Tang Dynasty was the most populous and powerful in the history, has accompanied and managing field related and music. However, the music used, the most important is the royal annual meeting. But with the 600 years past, this music has to be lost. Only we can see it is keeping it is another country. In the traditional handicraft, and the younger are not longer willing to be influence their parents' career. But the most willing, they are most to be run to a big city to build their Chinese dreams. Yeah, well, to be rich, right? Many unique clothes and high quality umbrellas and the other traditional things have to be lost. Therefore, I want to tell a story about protecting the traditional culture. In this way, more people can be realized there's no easy for craftsmen than waiting for protect them by protect culture. It is, I want to really, it is from the heart. Well, for the first question, firstly I want to say every photography in the process of it is communicate with each other. For example, for that, I have a job in the last month is the car evolution, and I was the B-roll, the second camera. It's a very easy job to me, but however, our main photographer feeling ill due to the heavy work, and I couldn't wake him up. After waiting for 30 minutes, I decided to not waiting him and talk to the customer and explain my thoughts and my ideas, which angles I filming, which director I filming. So they agreed that and gave me a chance to try it, have a try. After that, after 4 hours filming, they see my work on the computer, and they are very satisfied with my work. So I think is that learning from it is we should communicate with customer and read more spreads, and that makes you catch the opportunity when next time you are the main camera. For what I want to do is most want to be the main camera, which can show my thoughts, show my ideas to make into the real world. For the final question, the reason I choose Kingston's University is that it's a practical course, and I can learn about every aspect of film production. Hence, so I made this application. There will be study in various movie style, including sound, light, photography, and the post editing. And there will also be professor teaching us about documentary, exhibition, and movie at the same time. As I said above, I'm not very familiar to the close-up lenses and the transition, as well as I don't have the systematically study the lighting. So I want to improve these 3 aspects in the process of the future studies.